The neighbor had watched the German Shepherd through the fence for 3 weeks before she knocked on the door. She didn't know how to say what she had seen. She said it anyway. Her name was Dolores Reyes, 71 years old, retired, a woman who had spent 30 years as a school nurse and trusted what she observed with her own eyes. She had been watching the dog through the slat fence of the adjoining yard every morning when she took her coffee outside. She had watched the German Shepherd position himself in front of the toddler and stay there. Every morning, at the same time, the same posture. The toddler was 2-year-old Marco. The dog was a 4-year-old German Shepherd named Rex. Dolores had watched Rex walk to Marco's left side, press slightly against the boy's leg, and orient outward, facing away from Marco, toward the yard perimeter. He held this for the duration of the morning outdoor time, following when Marco moved, but always repositioning on the left, always facing out. She knocked on the door on a Saturday. She told Marco's mother, Elena, what she had been watching. Elena said, "He's always near Marco. That's just how Rex is." Dolores said, "It's not just nearness. He's positioned. Every morning, same side, facing out." She asked Elena to come outside and watch. Elena watched for 8 minutes on the Saturday morning. She watched Rex walk to Marco's left, press gently against the boy's leg, face the yard perimeter, and stay. She watched him shift when Marco shifted, always maintaining the same orientation. Marco on the inside, Rex between Marco and the yard boundary. She had been watching this for 2 years without seeing it. Dolores had seen it in 3 weeks from outside the fence. Subscribe now before the next detail, because what the canine behavioral specialist said when Elena described Rex's positioning and then showed her Dolores' handwritten notes, 3 weeks of morning observations, times, is why those notes are framed on Elena's kitchen wall. Dr. Yemi Osei, canine behavioral specialist, said, "What you're describing is deliberate protective flank positioning. The dog has placed himself on the child's exterior side, the side facing the largest threat vector in the environment, which in a residential yard is the perimeter, and is maintaining between the child and that vector." She said, "This is documented in working protection dogs. Your dog developed it spontaneously through his relationship with Marco." She said, "He does this because he has assessed that the perimeter is where risk would originate, and he has decided that his position between Marco and that risk is his job." She asked, "Has anything happened near the yard perimeter?" Elena thought about it. 3 weeks ago, before Dolores started watching, a stray dog had pushed through a loose fence board at the back perimeter. Rex had positioned himself between it and Marco. The board had been repaired. Elena had not thought much about it. She told Dr. Osei. Dr. Osei said, "The threat event 3 weeks ago is likely when the behavior became fixed. He identified the perimeter as the risk vector and has maintained his position against it every morning since." She said, "The neighbor saw what you couldn't see because she was outside the pattern. You were living inside it." Has someone outside your family ever pointed out something your dog was doing that you had stopped seeing? Tell us in the comments. These stories deserve to be heard. If you stay for stories about what animals sense and do before we understand it, you're in the right place. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Every guardian deserves to be recognized, even the ones who never asked for anything in return. If stories like this matter to you, subscribe so you never miss the next one. Dolores still has her morning coffee outside. She still watches through the fence. She and Elena talk now, over the fence, over the observations. Rex still takes his position every morning. Marco's left, facing the perimeter. The fence board is repaired. The threat that fixed the behavior 3 weeks ago is gone. Rex doesn't know that. He maintains his post anyway. Dolores understands that. 30 years as a school nurse taught her, some protections you keep long after the specific threat has passed, because the category of threat remains. Rex is doing exactly what Dolores would have done. She told Elena, "The dog thinks like a nurse." Elena put the handwritten notes in a frame. Next, the husky who started following the toddler in loops around the living room and what the physical therapist said when she came to the house for the assessment.